Billy Napier was asked, and he spoke on the offensive play calling, potential changes there, what tweaks have been made already, and if he foresees any major changes offensively. Here's what Billy Napier had to say.
We're in the process of defining those roles, is what I would say. I think we're working our way through that. I do think that there'll be different responsibilities to some degree. Really an effort to put the right things in place so that, the time is allocated for me in the right places. I think it's been a heck of a 2 years in terms of all the new things that come with the job. So offensively, I think that we may have different titles, responsibilities within that group of people. There could be an addition or two. We shuffled the deck a little bit in terms of those things, but ultimately we'll keep the same system and keep moving forward in that regard. I think we've got time to figure those things out. But I don't see any major overhauls outside of just how we organize that group and how we operate in-house.
Big takeaway there, no major changes right there on the offensive side of the ball. And look, maybe a sliver, maybe a slight chance for an offensive coordinator, but it seems unlikely given what Billy Napier just said. We'll likely just reassign roles within the existing offensive staff, is what Billy Napier said. And look, we'll discuss more about the hires Billy Napier made in other areas shortly. Napier did mention that he was, making hires in other areas to, quote, really, give an effort to put things in the right place so that the time allocated for him is in the right places. So, like he said, it's been a heck of a 2 years in terms of all the new things that's been thrown with him on the Florida job with transfer portal and NIL. So, look, as he said, the responsibilities, the titles may change. There will be some changes within the group of people on the offensive side of the ball. Is that going to be enough? I think that's the question everybody's kind of asking themselves. That's the question Gator Nation's asking themselves. Some people already have it in their mind, of course, that, hey, look, that's not enough. And more changes need to be made. So, what Billy Napier had to say, this indicates that he may have felt, a little overwhelmed the last couple of years. One solution could have been to hire an offensive coordinator and transition into a broader CEO-like role. But however, Napier seems to have chosen a different path. He appears to have hired help in other areas, possibly to allow him to focus more on the offense and maybe help the offense more in that fashion. Give him more responsibility on the offense and make other hires in other places. So, he can trust those other areas where he can concentrate on the offense a bit more. So, while we can debate the merits of each choice, it certainly seems Napier has sought assistance elsewhere while he works on enhancing the offense, by redefining these roles. So it's clear, I think Russ Callaway will continue to play a significant role. He began to take more responsibility last season. Red zone kind of comes into play from everything I've been told, that their last season, he did help a bit. So, And Napier did go on to say about Russ Callaway today, well, I've worked closely with him for a year. I think ultimately he's a guy that obviously is going to acquire more responsibility. How we define that, I think we'll work our way through that. Russ is a guy that we certainly are excited about, and he definitely in the future will require more responsibility. So it seems like there's a level of trust there in Russ Callaway, previous play caller at a previous stop before as well, at a lower level of football. I've been involved with that LSU team a couple years ago as well. In 2020. So, and had some NFL experience as well, but really made that Samford offensive coordinator and that offense home in his time there. So took a larger responsibility last year, maybe even more so this year. So look, it's clear today as well as we sit here and look at the responsibilities of the offensive line or the offense through the offensive line. It's clear that the two offensive line coach system will continue as Napier confirmed the contract extensions of Rob Sell and Darnell Stapleton. Of course, along with running back coach Jabbar Jaluk and edge coach Mike Peterson as well. But sticking with the offense here, Sell holds the title of offensive coordinator or has held that title of offensive coordinator. But Napier, of course, we know, guys, is the one that calls the plays. So it's unclear. I think we talk about responsibilities and if they're changing or not, it's unclear yet if any responsibilities will be reassigned as far as Rob Sell goes and if he still gets the offensive coordinator title. Maybe some of that's to do with money, given his NFL experience, his experience with Billy Napier, maybe more of a monetary thing. Now, I think you start looking through how offensive game plans are put together, and maybe he gets the offensive coordinator role in that. I mean, of course, you come up with game plans. Game planning is a team effort. Rob Sell big on that as well. But the game day play calling, of course, we know has been Billy Napier. So game planning, team effort, that, of course, will stay the same. Every staff in the country gets together with, it's not just the offensive coordinator making the game plan during the game week. It's the whole offensive staff. Of course, that will likely remain the same. So, however, I think, guys, what we know needs to change or possibly change is, on game day, is to improve the offense. And that's not fully determined if it's going to stay the same or not. So no major changes are anticipated at this point from what we've been kind of bringing together at this. So same staff members, maybe different roles. So looking at this, even though I may not agree, when I think about it, I understand why there may not be significant adjustments on that front. In my opinion, guys, Billy Napier's job status doesn't hinge on hiring an offensive coordinator for the 2024 season. It just doesn't. Not this season. Ultimately, down the road, maybe, but I think Napier was open to hiring an offensive coordinator, but either didn't find the right fit for the upcoming season. I mean, look, this could be due to the importance of this season for Billy Napier and maybe the quality of available candidates out there. Just think about it and just kind of where Florida is right now. Maybe there were available candidates that wanted to come to Florida, given the situation Florida's in right now and the critical year 3 Billy Napier's facing. Maybe the stability is in question. And maybe just available candidates weren't that good to begin with. So, look, with players like Graham Mertz and Montrell Johnson and Trey Wilson returning, Napier might have decided that maintaining continuity was the best course of action for this critical year. He's often, guys, emphasized the value of system continuity, and with his job potentially on the line, he may not want to entrust someone else with improving the offense in year 3. Improvements are expected. Yeah, somewhat. As we sit here right now, I do expect an improvement based on last season, but will it be enough? Could it be that Napier believes the offense paired with an improved defense will carry him throughout the 2025 season? Look, have success in 2024, and that gets you to 2025. At that point, DJ Lagway is probably the quarterback. He takes over, and then maybe make changes to the offense. Maybe bring in a new offensive coordinator when the offense may change a little bit. So I think that's a possibility as well. Florida isn't winning some kind of title this upcoming season, this 2024 season, no matter what kind of hires Billy Napier makes. But look, we're not asking for Florida to win the SEC or get to the college football playoff in 2024. Just staying status quo in offense and getting better on defense will go a long way. It certainly will go a long way in 2024. But with a harder schedule, maybe a slight jump on offense with a returning quarterback and a jump on defense aren't enough. Time will tell. But ultimately, look, if Florida is ever to get to competing for titles, I know some of you out there agree. I believe play calling changes may be needed to get to that point. There is more to gain on offense. While serviceable, while in some ways good enough, they've had to make up for a bad defense. There's definitely a higher ceiling there. This offense isn't perfect. Now, maybe it's not fair to ask it for it to be perfect, but there's a ceiling still to be reached. I don't think they've reached their ceiling based on play calling, based on talent. I think those things can get better. And so maybe that's with another play caller. Maybe that's with DJ Lagway down the road. Maybe it's with both. But to get there, it certainly seems like Napier's going to have to lead the way this upcoming season. So, look, my thoughts on kind of maybe the thought process here. I think there's some trust right here with Billy Napier in this critical year 3, maybe just not trusting anybody with the offense, not settling for an offensive coordinator hire. Candidates may not have been there. Candidates may not have been interested in the situation at Florida. So I think there's a few ways of looking at it. So my thoughts there, if it were up to me, I'd make the changes to allow Napier to focus on maybe being that more CEO role. But however, of course, he insists that being involved in the offense gives him a better understanding of the team. He's told us that. And it would, to me, take a situation he truly trusts to relinquish full control of the offense. So maybe, look, I think there's something to be said for the continuity that Billy Napier wants to maybe keep on offense. Continuity with him, continuity with Graham Mertz and the quarterback. And this is his first time at Florida now. He's had a returning quarterback. That could go a long way. Yeah, so I don't think it's all doom and gloom for 2024 with no OC. Maybe down the road, if we want to start title talk, maybe Billy Napier's got to get over this hump first. But I do think an improved defense, a little jump on offense is probably what we're looking at this year. If we expect a better Florida team, is that enough? Time will tell.